Hello, everyone. This is Dee Aquilin, and welcome to Sacred Self-Love Sundays. Thank you so much for watching, whether you are planning to join me live or whether you watch the playback recording. I'm so happy to share this space with you and I'll be able to share just some insight with you. So thank you so much. I want to get right into what I want to share today. Actually, I've been contemplating, like I said, these are unscripted, but definitely contemplated messages where I just wanted to share from the heart. And so, I would say almost since last Sunday, I had been thinking about what to talk about today. And actually, before Sunday, I wanted to talk about this, but I'm always wanting to be led and not really just off the cuff, just share random stuff because I believe that Spirit knows what you need. And so what I wanted to share was about self-correction. Self-correction. And so I want to title this message today, I'm going to call it the process of constant correction. The process of constant correction, because I just personally believe that we should be in a space where we're constantly learning and growing and constantly correcting, ourselves and our mistakes and, making sure that we are becoming our most divine, our higher self, most Christ-like self, most God-like self, that we are becoming that. Because honestly, we already are that, but it just, so many things have come in the way of that. I was watching the Sawyers this morning. I mentioned them before, Clifton and Antoinette Sawyer from Cornerstone Life Center. And she said something that was so powerful today. She said that our divinity lies in the core of our humanity. And I believe that when we say things like, I accept myself as I am, I think that's a great thing. But I think that what happens is we get caught up in accepting myself as I am and not really considering that as I am is not really what we think it is. I believe that as I am speaks of our I amness, our most divine self. And absolutely, we accept ourselves as I am. I accept myself as I am because I am. Okay. But another part of that is, okay, so I know who I am. I accept myself as I am. But I think that we kind of make the mistake of thinking that sometimes means that I don't necessarily have to change. And honestly, no one necessarily has to change, but to become our most divine self and to go to the core of our humanity, to reveal our divinity, I believe that it takes the constant correction. And we have this saying in Self Love University. We do this affirmation before every class, whenever we start class. And the affirmation is as follows. My life is a light that illuminates the world. I am here to honor that light by empowering, accepting, and loving myself beyond measure. I am here to represent my true, authentic, higher self. I am here to remember who I am and to forget who I'm not. I am here to allow Spirit to guide, teach, lead, and empower me to love. I am present in this now moment. My heart is open and my mind is fully receptive. So we say that before class as a reminder of why we're here, meaning why we're in Self Love University in class, but also as a reminder of why we're here on this earth, to be the light. And sometimes what happens is, although our light can never be dimmed, I think that we within ourselves prevent our light from shining in the lives of other people because we have things that that covers the light or that serves as a barrier, pardon me, for our light to really to shine, to illuminate the world, to illuminate the darkness, to illuminate, just illuminate, period. And so that's where the constant correction comes in, because we have agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz, we have agreements, we have constant programming from when we were first first conceived up until now. We have programming, and I talked about last week, we have those voices, the echo voices, the current voices, even the inner voice that can sometimes serve as a barrier for the keep our light from shining in the world or whatever. But here's the thing. Well, I'm going to say this too, because in with all of those things that I just mentioned are the conditions and situations that we find ourselves in life, that maybe someone else was the person that brought those conditions in our lives, and now here we are left to deal with it. Or maybe life just happened and we are left to deal with it. Or maybe someone pissed you off, someone made you mad, someone did something that has you feeling a certain way. Or maybe you did make a mistake or whatever. I think that what constant correction does is it helps you take a moment to step outside of that situation, or step outside of the voices, or step outside of the agreement, step outside of the programming, and see yourself. And then take whatever that is that you see and allow yourself correction. I had this situation yesterday, and it is a correction. It was also introspection, correction, and an aha moment for me. I have this friend in my life who's very special to me, and he and I were talking, and he said something, and he was about to say something, but he decided that he didn't want to say it. And I was like, why don't you want to say that? Because I want you to be as fully expressive as you want to be. And he said, well, I don't want to say it because I noticed that when I say things like that, you seem to resist. And I was thinking about that. And that really, of course, I still encouraged him to say what he was going to say. And he did say it. And I noticed the resistance when he said it. And I remember, yesterday, after we hung up the phone, I asked myself, where is this resistance coming from? Why do I have this within me? And this is a part of my correction. I realized that it was surrounded by insecurities that I have. Also, it was surrounded by the notion of this is just talk and there will not be action put behind this thing that we were talking about. And so I had to sit with myself, and I had to say to myself, you know what? This is a time for me to deal with the insecurity in me that causes me to pause, or causes me to have that resistance, and cause me to exude out that particular thing that on the other end, this person was perceiving and receiving from me. And it came across as that person as, I was rejecting and didn't want to hear what they said, but that wasn't the case. It was really my insecurity showing up. And so it's been a time for me to really sit with that insecurity and really work to correct that, work to heal that within me. And I'm so grateful that that moment came. But the process of constant correction is when things come up for you, because guess what? Things are going to always come up for you. I know that right now, I never talk politics, so this is not a political conversation, but I know that right now, so many things, so many emotions have come up for people. And really the last few years, and when it comes to the political arena, so many emotions have come up for people. And that's not a time for us to bash people, bash politicians, or bash a person for their political opinion. It's a time to do some introspection and say, why did that thing or that person or what this person said or what this person did really make me feel the way I felt? Because the thing about constant correction is that it's really you taking ownership of your life. And when you begin to take ownership of your life, you begin to make new decisions, and you also begin to heal those things in your life. I talked about in the first Sacred Self-Love Sunday about my mind just went blank. Okay, come back to me, thoughts. I talked about in our first one, I was talking about healing your life, and it'll come back to me if I keep talking. But a part of that, see, it came back. I talked about emotions and how when we have those emotions, those negative emotions that come up for us, is not a time to push those emotions down unless in that current situation that you're in, you have to, I'm going to say, suppress that emotion to get to the end of that current situation. But you always want to visit those negative emotions and sit with them like a friend and ask it, what are you here to show me about myself? And listen to it. I used to teach when I first started coaching, tell your emotions to shut up because your emotions don't matter and you're in charge and you're in control of your emotions and all of that. You are in charge. You are in control. But those emotions show up to help you heal. And so the constant correction really more so is not necessarily correction more so than it is the constant healing. So at the end of the day, when you're doing an assessment of your day, what did I do today? What did I say today? Who made me mad? Why did I say this? Why did I do that? When you begin to examine your day or your week or your month or whatever the situation is, when you begin to examine it and then you start sitting with the why question and answering the why question from an open and honest space, that's where the healing comes in. That whole conversation yesterday was just a conversation, honestly. At least that's what I thought until I hung up the phone and I really sat with myself and said, you know what? I really need to deal with this insecurity because if it came up in this situation, I'm exuding that insecurity in other areas of my life that I'm just not aware of right now. And the beauty in it is I started seeing the other areas of my life that I was exuding that insecurity in. And so I am working now to heal that insecurity. But it's the same thing with whatever it is, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's unforgiveness, whether it is because, a person pissed you off and really made you mad. I had a relationship in my life for a few years where I was constantly frustrated. And I remember sitting with God. I had my journal. All of my journals are here. I don't want to pull it out. But I remember just taking notes and saying, this person makes me feel this way. And this person makes me feel this way. And this person makes me feel this way. And then I picked this person's life apart. She does this and she does that. And she does this and she does that. And I don't like this and I don't like that or whatever. And after I finished writing all of that, I heard Holy Spirit say just as clear to me, go back and where you write she, put I and me. And when I read that, I realized that that person was living outwardly everything I was living inwardly. And that's why they were in my life as my mirror. And I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. Like I just broke down crying because it was like, oh my God. Then I felt bad and guilty for judging that person. But it also served as a way for me to start offering some healing for myself and correcting myself in those areas. And guess what happened with that relationship? That relationship started healing because I was correcting the things in me, and it made me have more compassion, more understanding towards that person. And so when you are in a state of constant correction, you realize that it's really not the people outside of you, it is you on the inside. I had another situation last year I've shared before, and if you follow my platform and even here on Instagram, I talked about I had a major surgery last year in April. And I remember that there were a few people who I really was expecting to be there for me. Like I was expecting them to just enveloped me in this whole love bubble and just really support me and be there for me, and they did the opposite. Like they were nowhere to be found. Like they wouldn't come around or anything like that. And I remember spending time being so angry. Like I was really angry with these people, and it got to a point where I was lashing out. And I remember one day asking myself, because like I said, I'm always doing this introspective work. But I remember asking myself, why are you so angry? And I have this thing where I always say that people only disappoint us because we disappoint them a position in our lives. In other words, we put them in a position where we think they should be. And then when they fall off, we get disappointed, but it's not them, it's us who put them in and who appointed them a position. Okay. And so when it came down to it, it boiled down to the disappointment was because I disappointed these people, and I put an expectation on them that I never should have put on them in the first place. They were not capable of being emotionally available for whatever their reasons were. And so I started to having to deal with myself. And so I realized the disappointment had nothing to do with them, had everything to do with me and my expectations. And so when I began to heal that and correct that, those relationships came together. And so I'm not saying that when you're doing constant correction that you're automatically going to heal your relationships. I believe that relationships can heal, because I always say this, it's a take on be the change you want to see. I always say this: the change I seek begins with me. So that if I want people in my life or relationships to change, I have to change. And what happens is when I change, the people change, which means one of two things. Either they will change with me, meaning they will do the work too, and they will change and become and whatever, or they will leave my life and new people will come into my life. So they will change. Okay. But the work is not about others. The work is really for ourselves. The work of healing, inner healing, the work of, self-forgiveness and forgiving other people, the work of loving yourself. We have this acronym at Self Love University, HEAL, HEAL, yourself unconditionally. And that HEAL means love, honor, empower, accept, and love yourself unconditionally. Because if you can do those four things, if you can honor yourself, if you can empower yourself, if you can accept yourself, if you can love yourself unconditionally, you automatically heal those areas of your life. All areas of your life, you automatically heal your life. And a part of that healing is the constant correction, is the constant introspection, is the constant, what role am I playing in this? Because the truth is, whatever we're living, whatever, you're the center of your world. So whatever your conditions are around you came from within you. And if those conditions are conditions that you're not satisfied with, then that means that there is something in you that needs to be healed. For example, maybe you have financial situation or condition in your life that you don't like, and you are frustrated and you're angry and you're bitter about your financial situation. Well, that is a point of reference for you to go in and heal that. I know at one point I had a lot of money frustration. And I even was reading books, and I realized one day dang, every book about money I would start reading but never finish. Start reading but never finish. Start reading but never finish. And I had to really get with myself and say, okay, what is it about this? And there's this one book. Do I have it here? No, but it's by it's called Creating Money by Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Packer. And in that book, it talked about, you know, going like as deep as what did your parents teach you about money, really learning your money habits and all of that. And when I started sitting with that and I started doing the work to heal and learning, then my financial situation started changing. And it was like, oh, wow, I'm not as bad as I thought I was. It's not as bad as I thought it was. And I started doing the work to heal that. And as I started to do the work to heal that, the situation changed. And so the point in all of this is that you have to be willing to take an examination of yourself and really see where you are in your life in this moment. And again, the indicators would be the conditions in your life that you're not satisfied with, that came from within you. So if it came from within you and is manifested outside of you, then guess what? The only way you can change it is to change within you. And you do that through the constant correction, the constant healing, the introspection, and asking and answering the why question. Why is this making me frustrated? Why is this making me mad? Why is this, getting to me? Why is this whatever? Why did I react that way? Why did I say this? Why did I do that? Why did I, go here or whatever? And when you answer that question, ask why to the answer and just watch yourself go through the processes. And as you're going through the processes, I'm going to say this: the healing work is a very tedious work, and it is a tough work, a hard work, especially when you're being honest and open with yourself. But the beauty in it is that as you're doing the work, you're going to see those flowers of the seeds that you plant start to bloom. And then you're going to see a beautiful garden. A garden doesn't start out with beautiful flowers all of a sudden. You have to tear the ground up and what is it called? Turn over the soil and make sure that the soil and the foundation, the ground is right. You have to sow the seeds in the right season. Okay. And then you have to make sure that you water and tend to the garden and pull the weeds and all of that so that what you're wanting to grow will grow. And all of that takes work. That's the process. And the process is not beautiful. If you are putting your fingers in the dirt to plant a garden, guess what? Your fingers and your fingernails are going to look gritty and dirty. But when you really have the end goal in mind, which is my healing, I have my healing in mind, then you don't mind getting your fingers dirty. You don't mind doing the dirty work. You don't mind, digging away and coming across the worms. You don't mind any of that because you know that in the end, these seeds that I plant and the time that I put into my garden and the resources that I put into my garden are going to reap. And I'm going to not only reap a harvest, but I'm going to see the beauty in all of this. But you have to be willing to do it. So the part of the process is being willing, recognizing, number one, recognizing, and two, being willing to heal, and number three is being honest and open in the entire process. Because if you're not willing to be honest and open to yourself, for yourself, and by yourself, then you pretty much negate the healing process, or you will experience some level of healing. I'm not even going to say some level of healing if you're not willing to be honest with yourself. You have to do that. Like, you can't skip that part of the process, because if you skip that part of the process, then it's just like you're going to run into a wall, and those situations are going to still be there. You're going to still be frustrated, still angry, still insecure, still whatever. So be honest with yourself. And like I said, honest with yourself, for yourself, and by yourself. You don't have to tell the world the things that you're feeling or whatever. You know, these are for you and for you to heal, for you and God. You take it to God and you sit with God and say, God, this is my frustration. This is why I feel this way. Or, you know, and it can go back to, this is what happened to me 2 years ago, and this is why I feel this way now. Or that particular relationship hurt me in such a way that I don't want to give anybody else a chance. Why? Because I don't want to experience that hurt anymore. And talk about it and get it all out. It's hard work, H-A-R-D work, but it's also heart work, H-E-A-R-T, heart work. And if you are willing to do that, if you are willing to sit with God and sit with yourself and be honest and open with yourself, I guarantee you that you'll start the healing process and you'll start to see changes in your life. And I just believe personally that those changes will begin automatically. However, you don't always see the changes automatically. What I mean by that is there is this realm called reality, spirit world. And in reality, the moment we make a shift in our humanity, in our current knowledge, and make a decision that I'm going to do the work, I'm going to change, I'm going to forgive, I'm going to heal, I'm going to whatever. I believe that the moment we make that decision, reality responds and say, okay, she's ready. And it already creates conditions and circumstances and situations. However, the more we do the work, the repetition of the work, constantly correcting, then reality will come into our experience and we'll start seeing the changes in our daily experience. So that's really all I wanted to share. Who's with me? Rolly. Hi, Rolly. I didn't have my glasses. They are somewhere. Actually, they're right here. I thought they were over there. So, hey, hi, Rolly. Thank you so much for joining me. Who else? Oh, quite a few people. Hi, everyone. Monvan, Rhapsody Diva, the Peas Pod, Asinacale, Black Annie. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Well, that's all I want to share. I want to share also a resource because healing is a process. And so there are resources. This is just a video talking about the constant correction. But there are resources all over. Books are resources. I think this is a great book, even though I didn't plan on showing this, but Spiritual Growth by Being Your Higher Self by Sanaya Roman. But there are resources all over. There are videos for you to watch. I would suggest that you follow Rolly Allaire Coach, Rolly_Allaire_Coach. She's amazing. I love Rolly. Follow the One Called Jay. Follow, there are so many. I will probably do a Instagram story list of people that you can follow. Hi, Tic Tac LD. Hello, thank you for joining me. But also another resource is Self-Love University. You can click the link in my bio to learn more about Self-Love University. There, like I said, there are books, there are online classes, you can log on to Instagram, you can do all the work, okay? The tools are available for you. I'm gonna say this, ask God, ask Spirit to lead you to the tools to help you. And once you find those tools, the next thing is to actually do the work, okay? To not just have the tools available. Like the example would be, you go and you want to write a book, and you go and you say, I want to write a book and I want to have, get a piece of paper and a pen and write a book. You have the tools available, but in order for that book to be written or in order for your healing to manifest, you have to actually sit with your pen and your paper and write, which means it's going to take time. It's going to take energy. I also took the resource for you to purchase, and sometimes you have to make purchases. But again, there are free resources available, but it takes you to be the one to do it. And here's the thing, your life will only change when you do the work to change your life. So I wanted to just encourage you that whatever you are in need of, I am here to help you. If there's any person that I can lead you to, any resource that I can say, hey, this would be a good resource for whatever it is that you're going through, I certainly don't mind helping you find the resource, find the healing source for yourself. So reach out to me if you feel like there is something that you specifically need that maybe you can't find. I know several coaches, I know several people online that I can lead and guide you to that I know are amazing. But the goal is for you to make sure that you are using the resources, but also you are doing the work to heal your life. Because guess what? Here's the thing. You deserve the healing that you seek. You deserve it. You deserve it. I used to have this affirmation on my wall in my old space that says, and I still believe this, I deserve everything I ask for. And I always use ASK as an acronym. Ask, seek, and knock. Anything that I verbally make a request for, I deserve. Anything that I take the action and seek for, I deserve. And anything, any door of opportunity that I knock on, I deserve it. And guess what? You deserve it too. You deserve your healing. You deserve your freedom. You deserve the space to heal in. You deserve all of that. So I want to encourage you to take advantage of it and really start the process of constant correction. Hi, Jackie. We're just finishing up, so you can watch the replay on my right here on Instagram, and also you can go to YouTube, the Self-Love Classroom. I'm gonna upload the video there. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. I hope that something was said and done that will be a benefit to you. And like I said, if you want to reach out to me for so I can help you find the resources for your healing journey, absolutely, I don't mind doing that. But again, thank you so much. I send love, light, peace, and blessings to you. Take care.